People, what's good? How you guys doing? Welcome again to another episode of Gospel Life News. This is the midday edition of the news, and this is where we bring you guys updates concerning music across the country, all that is happening in the world of music, and the guys that makes it beat. You can spell my name as Darki, and then you know it's double E. And before we proceed, I'd like to say a big thank you to our fans out there for doing what you guys do. Thank you for your time, your energy, and your consistency. You guys have shown that you love us and that the least we can do is to love you guys and appreciate you guys back. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Namaste to you guys out there. Like I said earlier, the news for today is all buzzing. We have Lil Frosh and it's part of the news, and I can tell you for free, this news has Lil Frosh story in it. What is there to who should you believe? Lil Frosh or Gemini, who has come out to say, no, Lil Frosh lied. He beats me, he's a woman beater. I only eat her once with the slab and I never touched her again. Her face swollen was as a result of a reaction that she is aware of. Lil Frosh has shown us receipt of how they went to the medical to pharmacy together to fix the reaction. But then Gemini is saying that was no reaction. She has shown proof that shows that she was beaten at the time. It get dicey, and we all don't know who to believe at the time. Also, we have Asake on the news with a new collaboration on Friday with Zlatan Ibile, and then we have Rema who is making exploit on the news. Enough talks. Let us go and see what the news look like. We'll begin with Rema. By the way, yeah, you can now stream us on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. Please come through. We all are waiting for you in the spaces. I would advise you that you put on your notification button so you'll be the first person to know whenever we make a video at the time. We'll begin with Rema. We saw Rema and Fexo Bubalu surpasses Charm to become Rema's second most streamed 2023 song on Spotify, and that's an amazing one. For top three, we have Soweto with Victoria as number one, we have Bubalu with Faith, and then we have Charm as number three. Just coming in again, we saw Rema come down. Not the one with Gomez, but the initial come down is now eligible for 7 diamond certification in France after making about 2.333 million unit sales. Amazing one for Rema. Rema really is the king of France as we speak. We saw what it did at the Ballon d'Or ceremony, which housed the likes of Messi, Messi, Mbappe, Haaland, name all the greatest players in the world were all there in the space except Cristiano Ronaldo. And then we saw Rema performing to these guys, and obviously from that moment we all knew that his song was set to take a new spin in France, and obviously the result is imminent. His numbers have been growing massively, and then he has done about 2.333 million unit sales. Moving in, we saw Rema Calm Down have spent 70 weeks on the UK official singles chart, and by that number, it became the ninth oldest song on the charts. Still on Rema, we saw Rema Ravi GP have spent 13 consecutive weeks in the top 10 of the Nigerian Apple Music Album chart. Massive one. Ravi GP have spent a record 13 consecutive weeks in the top 10 of the Nigerian Apple Music Album charts. Still on Rema, we saw Rema Ravi GP have just surpassed 40 million streams on Spotify. It ranks as the most streamed Nigerian EP released in 2023 on the platform. Now, so this is what the Rema team does, right? Now, obviously, we know that the most streamed project of David's project, right? But then they have to create a niche out of all of that, saying this is the most streamed EP for the year. And it just means that clap for yourself, whatever it is, because at the end of the day, nobody will give you all the accolades you need if you don't give yourself. So basically, it's a good one for the team to always appreciate what Rema is doing part-time, per season. Moving on, we have Olola Dimi Asake, talking about Asake as the next guy on the news. We saw Pokoli giving us sneak peek of what the one he has with Zlatan, looking like the song coming on Friday, the one with Zlatan and Asake, and the promised us that it's going to be out in 5 days, and that's on Friday. And we all can't wait to see what that one look like. For the first time, Asake and Zlatan are coming together on the song. Zlatan is known for his proness on the streets. Asake also is known for the king of the street and obviously king of numbers when it comes to Apple Music. And seeing him and Zlatan collaborating on the song is one that we all can't wait to see what they will do. This is the first time they're coming together on the song. We know they have amazing relationship together. When Zlatan began the franchise, the Zanko franchise, Asake was one of those few persons who went into the store, picked up a lot of clothes for himself, of the franchise, and now we seeing them together on the song. It just feels that it's an amazing relationship. I want to see what they would do together on the song. From the snippets, we show that it's an Amapiano song, and it has a lot of Yoruba elements in it. But like I said, on Friday we'll have full details of what the song looks like. Moving on, we saw over the weekend Nigerian faced Cameroon at the round of 16 tournament where we defeated the Cameroonians for about 2 goals to nil, and Nigerians came out on Twitter giving gestures and throwing substitutes to them, saying the only thing Cameroon are better off than Nigeria is Pepe, because we have Cameroon Pepe, which is like more harsh than obviously Nigerian Pepe, and then it became a back and forth between a banter, obviously, of Nigeria and Cameroon. Similarly, Cameroon guys cohabited with Ghanaians to come at Nigerians. So obviously, we are up to the task. But then we saw a white guy coming out to say he is going to support Nigeria ahead of Cameroon just because he loves Asake and Burna Boy, and these are his favorite artists. Courtesy for these guys, he is going to be supporting Nigeria ahead of Cameroon at the afternoon. Moving on, we saw Asake team has come out to say to all Asake fans, we now announce that the official fan base of Asake Mr. Money shall be called the Terminators. Now, I think it's like a good move and a very, very bold step to take. We all know that Davido Cruz are called the 30BG, Whiskey are called the FCs, Burna Boy are called the Outsiders, different name for different persons. But then for Asake, now we know they are going to be called the Terminators. Not too long, but obviously it's very catchy name. So you have Terminators versus Outsiders, and Terminators versus CTBG. So it's about to get heated now as we speak. And moving on, we saw Don Jazzy coming out to spill out truth, where he said Asake is the most brilliant among the new generation artists. So talk about Rema, talk about Arya Star, talk about CK, talk about Oxlade, Victoni, everybody. Don Jazzy is saying with his level of experience and what he has seen in the game, he's going to tell you for free that Asake is the most brilliant among the other new generation artists. I'm still on Asake. We saw Asake have just surpassed 900 million stream across all credit on Spotify. They calmed down to 1 billion as began, and trust me, he did all of these numbers without a global song. 900 million stream on Spotify is a very big record that Asake has done for himself without a global song. And then we say congrats to him, and then we all can't wait to see what the global song will look like in Asake's catalog. And moving on, we saw South Africa coming out to give us what last week looked like, and they are saying for the top 10 most streamed artists on Spotify, we have them listed in the top 10. We have Asake as number 1, we have Burna Boy number 2, we have Ojumode Black as number 3, Shea Vibes 4, Wizkid 5, Charlie Poppy 6, Christian 7, Mobad 8, Davido 9, and obviously Buju Benson seat as number 10. Coming in again, we saw Asake Mr. Money with the Vibe. That's the MMWTV, the album that opened the way for Asake. I've spent about 70 weeks in the top 10 of the Nigeria Spotify top album. It became the only album that have stayed that long on the charts without a deluxe. Asake is one guy who has made names and numbers for himself without a major song like a global song and a deluxe project. He has just done it on his own terms, and the numbers have been amazing. Looking out to the Wireless Festival, which is set to begin on the 18th of July, on the 12th day of July, spanning through to the 14th day of July. We have the likes of Nicki Minaj headlining the first day, Ice Spice, Sean Paul, and many other guys. Future also closing as a special guest. For 13th of July, we have 51 Savage, JL as headliners. Then we have Asake, Guna, Sexy Red, also amazing guys who are also going to be there on that one. For the next day, we have the Cat headlining. Then we have Rema, Tyler, and Ruga, also one of the amazing guys on this one. And we have amazing guests, trust me. Special guests are set to be announced, but then we know that from Nigeria, we have Asake going to be there, and then we have Rema and Tyler. We have Rema and Ruga from Nigeria to headline. I mean, not just to headline, not headline rather, but then to grace the audience with their presence. Moving on to the Afro Zones programming party that was held in Lagos, Nigeria, where we saw legendary coming out, likes of King Sunny Ade, before I'm being dragged. We have King Sunny Ade. We have likes of Burna Boy's mom being outside to celebrate music at the time. And then we saw Burna Boy's mom, Bossa Ogulu, presenting an award to King Sunny Ade at the Afrozen party. And then that's an amazing one to see that Burna Boy's mom also was giving His Excellency, so to say, King Sunny Ade an award, Chairman of a Lifetime Award to him at the event. But then we saw where everything was going on smoothly till Arya Star announced herself with her presence, and things went from sweet to sour after a fan identified misbehavior at the event. It was said that she walked to the event and then she met people. She didn't have the cost to kneel down to greet them. I mean, considering the fact that she's a Yoruba girl, people expect that as a Yoruba girl you should kneel down to greet your elders before Arya Star. Instead, she stretched for her hand to shake King Sunny Ade's hand, and that was quite rude to a lot of persons saying, no, we will not accept that. At the same time, we saw where she almost did not greet Burna Boy's mom. She was called over to it, then she went back to obviously say hi to Burna Boy's mom. But then Nigerians did not take likely approach to King Sunny Ade. And we saw comments like, you are the one raising issues here where there is no one. She greeted him twice, nodded her head before she left. Is it until she roll on the floor? Okay, is it until she roll on the floor? You people are beginning to sound and ask for the same thing you critiqued the old generation for. Somebody is saying, you have an Olabode in your name. Does this reply not embarrass you? Nodded her head, nod head for KSA, that's talking about King Ade, when it is not Odumodu. No, she's supposed to roll on the floor. She's not supposed to roll on the floor. She's supposed to kneel down, at best bend her knees. That is just random. Okay, that's not just a randomie, that is King Sunny Ade. We saw somebody saying whether she knows whether she knows it is King Sunny Ade sitting or not, she's mannerless. This is Africa, not Obodo Imbo land. No need to whitewash it. Somebody saying King Sunny Ade was even more respectful than Arya Star. In this video, to me, is a shame to these Gen Z children. Somebody saying, of course, many people, most guys won't say anything wrong with this. Guess why? They are only sins. And that one is saying, this is so wrong. You're saying she doesn't recognize him as saying rubbish. She saw the old man and still had the boldness to shake him. Someone old enough to be a granddad. Wow. This caused a stir on Twitter over the weekend. But then we saw people also going back to a video of when Whiskey performed, and then he actually saw King Sunny Ade, and Whiskey had to fall straight flat to greet King Sunny Ade before continue his performance. And then Arya Star, after all of this, came out to apologize with a crying emoji. She said, I am so sorry. I had just walked in and all the lights and nerves didn't let me see. But I came back to greet everyone properly. I have never been that girl to be disrespectful. I am a proper Yoruba girl, and the video didn't start until after I greet Burna Boy's mom. I am sorry to the legend, uncle, and King Sunny Ade. After she said this, even the word uncle caused a stir and a row on social media. Moving on, we saw an interview where she came out to say, speaking about her mom, and then she said there was this bag she saw. She could not buy the bag because her mom was going to scold her. Her mom still controls her, still calls her at all hours to make sure she's sleeping and she's not out of tools, ask her if she's eating, call everybody around her team to make sure she's fine. And she's her mom to make sure she doesn't spend money anyhow, and she controls what she does per time per season. And that's a very good one call from her mom. At the same time, she mentioned the fact that she was going to drop an album this year, and I think this is just an album year for a lot of persons. Fireboy album, Arya Star also have said she dropped an album, and we all are waiting to see what she would do on the project. Moving on, we have Lil Frosh as the next guy on the news. We saw Lil Frosh coming out to say, dear Nigerians, I am innocent. I never beat up my ex-girlfriend, cute Gemini, to stupor. It was only one slap that I gave her. That sounds so funny, actually. And then it was only one slap I gave her. And after she insulted my mom, 5 months after she had a swollen allergic reaction to the food she ate, and then used the photos to frame me up and lied to the whole world that I beat her up to stupor, and she ruined my life. This is coming from Lil Frosh. And then we saw where he came out to say after giving evidences, he said, I thank God for the opportunity that presented itself. God knows I did not beat Gemini. I was framed, I was blackmailed, and after all I paid, I still can't get my career back because of the lies that was told against me. Nobody gave me listening ears. I tried to explain to my boss at Davido, but he didn't want to listen because he has zero tolerance for eating women. Please, guys, help me. I am innocent. Help me beg the video to give me a second chance. Chance again. Nigerians, God bear me witness. I am innocent. Coming from Frosh. And after all of that, we saw Davido having a second thought, and then he had to follow Frosh back on Instagram. And then we saw where Frosh came out to say, see how everything began on her face. It began with a reaction that caused a boil, then went to the pharmacy to check what happened to her. Sadly, after medications, the condition worsened, and when it became really big, they turned the story that I eat her, presented the pictures as evidence. I tried to explain, nobody wanted to hear me out. That was the peak of my career. I begged, they refused to stop. They refused to stop. If they refused to stop, they collected money and left me empty. No label, no love. Turned my fans against me, turned Nigerians against me. At the point, I became okay. So at the point, I almost ended it all. Seeing the people I started music with become way bigger than me, life was bad news to me. Motivation everywhere. Please, guys, help me beg the video for a second chance. We saw where he also came out like to say, whenever he searched for his name on Twitter, what he saw was the person that he almost took his life at the time. And then we saw after the back and forth, we saw where he came out to say, cute Gemini, I was trying to get back to him, trying to make sure they work back together, but then he ignored her and then he didn't make responses to her, even after she begged and pleaded that they got back together. After all of that, we saw where he came out to say, after she did everything, after I paid money for what I knew nothing about, after the court case and stress, and after DMW had sent me away, after I had lost fans and nobody was willing to associate with me, my brand, this girl started testing me so that we come back together. After she ruined me, my name, my career, everything was gone. Nigerians, I am innocent. I was framed by a woman. By a woman I loved and cared for. Yes, I made mistakes. I'm only human. And I was really sorry. I begged and begged. No one was willing to listen. Davido, please, one more chance. Coming from Frosh. And then we saw where the lady came out to give us response that no, Frosh actually lied. In her words, she said, Frosh beat me up to stupor countless times and then guilt tripped me into getting back with him out of pity. I agreed to get back with my ex, but finally I broke up with him last year after realizing that he didn't change one bit. But he instead had gone worse. Cute Gemini shares her own part of the story. So she is saying basically she and Frosh got back together last year, even amidst Frosh saying he didn't give her attention, but then she said that's a lie. They got back together last year and then he has not changed one bit. He still exhibited what he did the last time they were together. And like I said, the case got more messier because at this point we all don't know who is at fault. But we're sure in coming days we'll probably get more light as a result of Frosh and Gemini. My name is Zaki. We'll catch you guys on the very next one.